keep hearing the NFL is a passing league. And that's kind of true.
3.3 yards per attempt is so low, they should have run all game.
But it's no longer a cool passing league. It's now a try to pass and not fail league. It's now a league where quarterbacks are throwing pick sixes to guys named Van Ginkel, and where quarterbacks are on their knees watching defenders return their errant passes for touchdowns the wrong way. The days of Manning, Brady, and Breeze lighting up defenses have officially passed us by. Those QBs are long gone, and they took a dominant passing advantage with them. Some say we might have even entered the dark ages where the run game and the line of scrimmage will control the outcomes of games. Oh. Some of the diehard fans, though, will enjoy this, and I think it's just the way the wind is blowing right now. Things have certainly shifted. I'm going to break down the alarming numbers and try to get to the bottom of why the passing in the NFL sucks now, and why we're all going back to 1973 and pounding the rock once again. Balls deep into passing? Today's episode is sponsored by my hopes. Not for the football season, but for a great night of sleep and Bear mattress. That's right, Bear is a premium fiberglass-free mattress designed to upgrade your sleep quality, and it's conveniently shipped to your door for free within the US of A. Yes, some mattresses are made with fiberglass. The only glass that should be by your bed or close to your bed is a glass of wine, right guys? Now, we have 3 bears in our house right now. I am like a real-life version of Goldilocks and the 3 bears, but all 3 mattresses are amazing. Now, we have a king-sized elite hybrid mattress, and we've had it for well over a year now. A year and a half close to, I think. It's designed to keep you cool, as Bear uses cooling technology and the 5-zone support coil system to pull heat away from your body, keeping you cool all night long. And I fall asleep instantly on it. It's incredibly easy and safe to order your Bear online, and they help you find the best mattress for your body and sleeping position with an easy online quiz to determine which mattress is best for you. Now, Bear ran a customer survey with over 300 customers, and 82% of them reported an improvement in sleep quality. Jess and I have the Elite Hybrid, and we got our 4-year-old daughter 2 Bear Cub mattresses for her trundle bed, which she picked out so her mother could sleep next to her from time to time. You know, when she sees imaginary shadows waving to her at night or whatever else it is. So go to bearmattress.com/That's Good to get 40% off plus $400 in sleep accessories dropped off right at your door. You can sleep like a baby knowing there's a 120-night sleep trial to test your mattress along with a lifetime guarantee. If your quarterback is terrible, you're going to need a great mattress to restore your mind, body, and soul every week. If you were like me and you were watching Red Zone Week 1, you might have seen this very special play and drawn some conclusions about the state of the NFL, the state of offenses, and even the state of quarterbacking as a whole. The pass is alive and well. This outrageous throw by Anthony Richardson, and really, Richardson's whole performance was the exception to the rule that now guides passing attacks in the NFL. Richardson completed just 8 other passes outside that one, and that touchdown was one of just 35 touchdown passes across the league in Week 1. That's just a little over 1 touchdown pass per team, and Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr combined for 7 of those alone. Here are some notable quarterbacks that didn't throw touchdowns: Brock Purdy, Daniel Jones, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, and Justin Fields. 16 QBs threw just 1 touchdown, and like I said, only 2 quarterbacks threw more than 2 tutties on the season opener. Oh, God, that's disgusting. 35 touchdown passes is a far cry from the 61 TD passes that were thrown in Week 1 3 years ago in 2021. In 2020, you had at least half a dozen quarterbacks throwing for more than 3 touchdowns Week 1 versus the 2 I just mentioned. Carr is also an outlier because he only threw the ball 23 times. By contrast, we actually had 36 rushing touchdowns, although no player had more than 2 touchdowns on the ground alone. It was the first time since 1989 that there were more rushing TDs than passing TDs week 1. The NFL has seen fewer points per game in each of the past 3 seasons. But we may have peaked in 2018, guys. 847 touchdown passes in a 16-game season. Over the last 2 years, just 750 and 754 touchdown passes with a 17-game season. That's roughly 100 fewer touchdown passes we're seeing with an extra week of football. Passing yards are down as well. More than half of the league's starting QBs failed to surpass the normally routine benchmark of 200 passing yards in a game, a sign that the high-flying aerial assault we've grown used to might be grounded. At least for now. According to Josh Dubow from the Associated Press, this week 1 was a statistical throwback to 2007, as teams averaged just 188.3 net passing yards per game. That's down 28.6% from the record-setting 263.8 yard average in week 1 just 5 years ago. You have to go back to week 15 of 2007 when teams averaged 187.1 yards per game to find a week where the NFL passing was this low and this fucking boring. That's December football we're talking about as well, where players are hurt and teams are fighting for their playoff lives. A full 17 starting quarterbacks couldn't hit 200 yards, a figure only matched one other time since 2011. These guys can't get 200 passing yards? What are you gonna tell me next? Shannon Sharp can't get a date? NFL passing offenses are simply boring. Mind-numbingly boring. Rookie QBs particularly struggled to find their footing, a trio of debuts combining for just 415 passing yards. Washington's Jane Daniels led the way with a mere 184 yards, followed by Bo Nix in Denver with 138, and Chicago's Caleb Williams managing just 93. Not even 100 yards from the greatest quarterback prospect since Andrew fucking Luck. Are you kidding me? No longer should we be expecting the quick starts like we saw from Justin Herbert and I guess CJ Stroud a year ago. Now Herbert, by the way, got a win week 1 with just 144 passing yards, but that's because his head coach beat the shit out of him before the game started. Now one reason quarterback passing touchdowns and yards are way down might just be because NFL QBs are ignoring their offensive coordinators at an alarming rate. Okay, well maybe 2 guys who could normally contribute in the yards and touchdown departments, and Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins, are returning from major injuries. 2 guys who should be a lot better than they are in Deshaun Watson and Daniel Jones were possibly 2 of the least efficient quarterbacks on planet Earth to start the season. Deshaun Watson was historically bad on Sunday. Watson has weapons to throw to, plays for the NFL's Coach of the Year, so he doesn't have excuses. This is a guy who is completing close to 70% of his passes and throwing for 4,000, 3,800, and 4,800 yards. He left week 1 as the only QB to go 0 for 10 on passes of 15-plus air yards. It was the worst performance in that department since they started tracking air yards in 2006. I think it is more difficult to push the ball downfield now, but Watson also simply sucks. We have a good control with Watson, because Joe Flacco threw it downfield very well for basically the same team last season. Joe was top 10 in air yards per attempt last year. Now, Daniel Jones had a horrific week 1, but the stat that should alarm Giants fans is he missed hitting his receivers 48% of the time when they were open by 4.4 yards. My man Bo Nix had the opposite issue, receivers not getting separation. Jones had guys open and couldn't connect. While Jones has never been an elite passer, he and Watson had success because of their mobility. I think the shift to utilizing quarterback mobility has had a huge effect on the passing numbers in terms of consistency. So why is this happening? What are defenses doing to limit explosive plays and touchdowns in general? Well, first, defenses have evolved to counter explosive passing attacks. They've adapted with the Imodium to stop the diarrhea of touchdowns we watched rain upon defenses in the 2010s. The widespread use of two high safety shells has effectively eliminated deep passing plays consistently, forcing QBs into a more conservative short yardage approach. You can blame this crusader against fun for having too much success against high-flying offenses. Vic Fangio has ruined NFL passing offenses. Now, this scheme is making offenses opt for the run game more often, creating a new equilibrium between passing and rushing attempts. As you can see here, pass percentage has dropped from nearly 64% in 2021 to just over 60% in week 1 this season. That was the year, 2021, where we had the Bengals and Rams meet in the Super Bowl behind the wild arms of Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford, each passing for over 4,500 yards and for 34 and 41 touchdowns respectively. And hell, in Tom Brady's final 2 seasons, we were criticizing the Buccaneers for throwing it too much, 50, 60 times a game. Now, the guy who tweeted this suggests that we've left the golden age of quarterbacking, and I think to some extent that might be true, or at least we're on pause right now. There are still a handful of elites doing their thing to get wins, but the true stat passing compilers like Manning, Brady, Breeze, and a younger, saner Aaron Rodgers have escaped us. Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, to some extent Big Ben, Matt Ryan, guys who lived in the pocket because they were slow as fuck, had no other choice but to throw the ball effectively, and those guys they're out of the league. Even Patrick Mahomes right now is prioritizing long, almost painful to watch drives instead of fireworks in the passing game. Because hell, it's working for him, and I respect that he's going to sacrifice gaudy stats in favor of victories. Even counting Mahomes, I'm not sure we have a ton of field generals left in the NFL, guys that control the line of scrimmage and can keep up with everything the defense is throwing at them. I know we have great play callers, but I don't know how many true tacticians are playing quarterback right now. Finally, I believe playing QB in today's NFL has never been more challenging. In spite of all of the rules that do favor the offense, we also know offenses have gotten more complex. But you can say the same thing about defenses as well. QBs face relentless pressure from simulated blitzes and complex defensive alignments that change post-snap. Quarterbacks learn to handle that with time. There are a lot of young QBs in the NFL. Mahomes is only 28. Oh God, no. Oh no, stop torturing me. Oh, he's only 28? Are you kidding me? Oh shit. Oh no, and he's learning to play from the pocket. Fuck. What was I saying? Quarterbacks are young. They're very young right now. Your old guys that are elite are Matthew Stafford, maybe Aaron Rodgers, Achilles and health pending. A man who should be in the mix there is Russell Wilson, but his mental understanding of the NFL stopped evolving after his 3rd year in the league, and now his athletic skills are diminishing. The Bears pressured young Will Levis on nearly half of his dropbacks week 1, forcing mistakes and resulting in turnovers. This constant pressure has made it harder for quarterbacks to execute, further limiting the effectiveness of the passing game. I think you can also make a much broader case that it's hard. It is hard to find an effective offensive line in today's NFL.
Mike McGlinchey is up next, and he didn't fare great last week. Gave up a team-high 5 pressures.
That really starts at the college level. The evolution of college football, particularly the widespread adoption of spread offenses, has significantly altered how offensive linemen are prepared for the NFL and how scouts evaluate them. Historically, college football mirrored the NFL, with linemen learning similar blocking techniques and schemes that easily translated to the professional level. In today's college game, many offensive linemen rarely get into the 3-point stance or have to do NFL caliber blocking assignments. Instead, they operate in 2-point stances and spread offenses that emphasize quick lateral movements rather than vertical power-based schemes seen in pro-style offenses. This change has left incoming NFL linemen with a steep learning curve when transitioning to the pro game, where mastering the three-point stance is huge in both run and pass blocking. Factor in the reduction of practice time under the 2011 NFL CBA, that's exacerbated the problem. Limiting full contact practices has greatly stunted offensive line development, making it harder to correct fundamental issues like footwork, balance, and stance. You need reps to get this shit worked out. College ball isn't producing great linemen at the same rate it's producing freak defensive players and absolute dogs ripping off the edge. Now there are exceptions, most recently like Joe Alt delete the edge rush, but they are just that. Exceptions. In response, many offenses are turning to the ground game as a more reliable method of moving the ball, shifting the balance away from the aerial attacks that have defined the league in recent years. And more disgustingly, throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage to their running backs or keeping their passes under 5 yards to use the pass as an extension of the run game. Gross. As the season progresses, it will be interesting to see whether offenses can adjust and reclaim their dominance, but this is officially a trend, as the last 3 years indicate growing toward a more balanced or even run-first approach. The QBs who might save us from this hell are CJ Stroud. He is a field general in the making, but the Texans ran the ball 40 times week 1. Matthew Stafford, who thank God ripped it 49 times through the air week 1.
Yeah! Gotta show him you still got it.
Joe Burrow, if the Bengals offense ever returns to form or guys get paid. Josh Allen, who may have been a 300-yard passer week 1, had he been afforded more than 2 passing attempts in the first 28 minutes. Dak, Jordan Love, when healthy, and Brock Purdy, who plays in an offense that dominates via the run and the pass. There is hope because those guys are young, and I do believe offensive coordinators will figure out how to exploit the current two-shell bullshit that's clamping them. And it's starting to look like teams who can run the ball and are willing to run the ball have an advantage right now. You can certainly point to the 49ers on Monday night against the Jets when they pounded the rock with their backup running back, Jordan Mason. But I think this graph shows you a lot. Teams aren't just running the ball for the sake of running the ball. They're doing it because it's effective and honestly more reliable than tossing the rock. That is to say, the reward no longer matches the risk, at least on average, throughout the league. Ultimately, when defenses start to play the run first, I think the passing numbers will tick back up, but not to the levels that we saw in the 2010s. At the end of the day, we can again thank this man, Vic Fangio, who really popularized the too high safety look to stop guys like Patty Mahomes and the trickle-down effect it's made so football is a little more boring than it was 3 years ago. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Am I, though? Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for returning for week 1 of football. Holy crap. The channel's been going nuts, and you guys are awesome. Oh, you guys are so awesome. I love you so much.